Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brittany if you're new here. I feel like this is always where I film the intro to videos and it has just become the vlogging background. So I am writing a book. I am an avid reader, as you guys would know if you watch any of my vlogs or follow me on TikTok. I love reading. I am constantly reading. I have a book podcast, so kind of a big fan. And I have always wanted to attempt to write a book. When I was a kid, I was super into reading, and I would write these little short stories on my family's computer back in the day, and I would come up with my own ideas, and I would take inspiration from things like the Goosebumps series and stuff like that. And I, for a minute, was pretty convinced that I was going to be an author one day. Like I was like, I've got what it takes, I'm a writer. Then I kind of stopped doing that, obviously, but I've just been really inspired recently to attempt to write a book. Sometimes, I don't know if this happens to you guys, but I will read a book, and I think a prime example is like Emily Henry. Something about her books makes me want to become an author. Like it makes me want to write and try to like evoke the emotions that she evokes and tell my own stories. I don't know how to explain it, but I feel it with her books. I feel it with some other books as well. And I feel like I have a lot of ideas of things that I want to do, and I just want to give it a try. This could totally fail and we don't have a book, or it could go really well. But I think either way, it would be fun to do, and I think it would be even more fun to document, and I can look back on it, especially if it goes successfully. Can look back on days like today. I think it's June 29th, 2025, and just kind of see where my head was at and why I decided to do it. And my boyfriend made a really good point, and he was like, if you fail, who cares? Because at the end of the day, you're doing this for you, and that's all that matters. I have kind of already started the writing process. If you follow me over on TikTok, I've been making kind of mini videos that kind of show what I've been working on. So I will update you guys right now. So I have a basic idea, and I have started working on my outline of basically just like a brain dump in a Word document. So in this Word document, let me actually get my notes for you guys. Okay, so when I first started coming up with ideas of what I maybe wanted to do, genuinely just made a notes app on my phone where I just started jotting down a bunch of ideas. I don't want to give too much away because obviously if it does come out, I would love if people could read it, and I don't want to give away things that happen or the ending or anything like that. I think it could be pretty fun. Obviously, I am not signed to like a publishing company or with an agent or anything like that. So I don't really have any rules, and I could reveal things if I wanted to. And I think it could be kind of fun to kind of do what Lauren Roberts did when she was first coming up with Powerless, and like share quotes with you guys and little things like that, just to kind of get you excited as I get there. I am not at that point yet, but I think it could be fun. I can reveal like one thing to you guys right now, and that it's gonna be set by a beach or a lake. So there you go. So in here, I just started throwing out random thoughts that I had like, I'm a very, I don't know what the word is for it, but sometimes I can see things very clearly in my head. Maybe that's just called being imaginative, I don't know. But I can like see very clear pictures in my head of things that have not happened. And there were two instances of things that I'm gonna put into this book that I could see very clearly in my head. Like I could see the entire scene and how I want it to play out. So jotted those down so that I wouldn't forget them. I don't know how I would. It's like constantly playing in my head. But wrote those down, wrote just random ideas that I had. I started writing down like characteristics of like my main character, the love interest, how old I want them to be, name options, what their jobs are, things like that. Also started working on some side characters, but I do definitely need to develop them a little bit more. Started writing like plot and just kind of throwing out bullet pointed plot ideas. I watched a YouTube video, and I'll put her name right here because she definitely gave me some good pointers for how to plot out a book, because I know everybody does it a little bit different, but I wasn't too sure how I wanted to go about it, and I feel like it really helped. And in my Word doc, where I just kind of, it's just like a brain dump of ideas, I transferred all this stuff over there. I put in a project name, which isn't exactly the title. I literally have called it Project Beach, and it's just something fun that I can refer to it as until I have a title, and I can just kind of, I don't know, it's just fun to have a project name. I wrote in there the genre, I wrote the vibes and the theme, I wrote the length, so how many pages maybe, like how many like words I want in there. And then I also wrote a 1-sentence summary, kind of like a pitch line, if you will, of the book. I also elaborated on the characters, the setting, wrote out the scenes, and then there's a section for quotes, and I think I've only put in 1 or 2, but this is if I have any quotes that I for sure know I want to be in there, I can just kind of write them in, and once I get there in the writing process, I can add those quotes in. Once I did all of that, I began the plotting process. So in a new Word doc, I also want to throw out, I'm just doing what's comfortable to me, and writing in Microsoft Word is what is comfy to me. I know that some people write in Google Docs. My only issue with Google Docs is I hear something about them using AI to like scan your documents, and I just don't want to risk that. I'd rather just have something that's in my computer for my eyes only. But I do know that Google Docs seems a little more convenient because you can do like document tabs and kind of have your chapters off to the side, where you can't do that in Microsoft Word. I think there's a similar thing you could do, but it's a little bit more complicated. I do still need to figure that out, because when I wrote books as a kid, I mean, I just like typed and just, that was it. But I am trying to do it like a somewhat right way and be able to click around in my document. So if you have any tips, feel free to let me know. But in a new Word doc, I started plotting my book. So I think I literally just named it Plotting or something. And basically what I did is I created a table with 2 columns and as many rows as you want. And basically I put chapters and then what is happening. So then I just started going through the chapters, so listing 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way down, and then on the side that is what it's about. I'm personally just bulleting points, but different people do different things. So bullet pointing like this is gonna happen, then this, and just kind of getting out what I want to accomplish in that chapter, as well as maybe writing in any quotes that I want to happen, kind of doing like all the hard work and stitching together the scenes to figure out how one scene is going to lead to another and how one chapter is going to lead into the next. I did this until I got to about chapter 8, I believe, and then I started feeling a little bit of writer's block, because obviously this is when you are starting to have to develop struggles in your characters and a lot of the plot line and just some of the things that are going to go in the middle to lead up to the climax of your book. And in coming up with my book, I had a general idea and kind of a general idea of how I want it to end. So I really got to figure out all of the stuff that goes in between. I personally decided that what might help me is writing. I know that I want my book to have a prologue, so I decided to just kind of free write the prologue based on what I know so far. And it's not perfect by any means. I am figuring out very quickly that I love writing dialogue, but I need some help when it comes to being descriptive and writing out those moments that are happening in between the dialogue and the actions the characters are doing, and just kind of making the reader feel like they are in the character's shoes and actually living through these moments. Left out some things of parts where I want to add in more, but a lot of people online are saying to just write your draft even if you know there's things missing, even if you know there's things you want to change, get that first draft out there and then come back and start making your edits. Like, otherwise you're just never going to move on, and you're going to have like writer's block and want to try to make it perfect, which I'm already feeling a little bit with this prologue, but that's okay. I might attempt to write like the first chapter just to kind of guide me a little bit in how I want like the author voice to sound, developing the characters a little bit more. I know that like maybe that's not technically the right way to do it. Like, you probably shouldn't write your book without plotting it, but I just feel like that's what's going to help me, and then I can ultimately come back with edits later and change things up. And if things don't belong, or if I need to add things, I can make those calls when I get there. So that is kind of where I'm at now. So today I want to do some work on it. I think I want to go to a coffee shop. Maybe it's a little warm today, and just try to get some work done, because I think a change of scenery can definitely help kind of spark creativity. So I want to continue on with plotting the book, but also maybe attempting to write the first chapter and just kind of see what that does for my creativity and how that makes me feel. So yeah, that is everything that I have done so far. To keep you guys in the loop, I came up with this idea to start attempting to write the book about 2 weeks ago, but this week has been very busy and I haven't been able to write as much as I would like to. I would love to set goals for myself and like be able to write every day and stuff like that. So maybe that is stuff that I can work on today and kind of establish those goals. Okay everybody, I am back home. Coffee was secured. I got a butterscotch cold brew. The vibes were just kind of off at the coffee shops, so I just decided I'm gonna come back here. I'm gonna write here. I usually write on the couch, to be honest, but maybe I will actually write on like a desk or something and do something good for my back for once. So plans for today: get some more work done on the outline, potentially work on chapter 1. That's the plan. Okay y'all, welcome to my desk. Desk's a little messy, office is a little messy, so we are gonna have to address that today and do some cleaning because we cannot have this in our workspace. Okay, I'm pulling up my Word docs right now. I think I'm gonna listen to music. I really want, I'm forgetting what I said in my other vlog versus this, but I really want to come up with a playlist that I can listen to when I am writing, so that I can kind of like get into the vibes and immerse myself in this world. So I think I'm gonna try to make a playlist at some point today. Whenever it's made or completed, I'll share it with you guys. But I'm gonna put on probably like a summer playlist of some kind. And I think I'm gonna try to write chapter 1, see how that goes, and then we will get back into plotting. It's been a couple of days since I last talked to you. It is actually the 4th of July today, so we are off of work. We got a 3-day weekend, but even though I am off of my paying job, I have a lot to do for my second job, aka writing. I have to do some editing, all the things that I don't get paid for but enjoy doing. And I'm gonna go to a coffee shop that I've been really wanting to try that's kind of near me. So I wanna go try it out, and I think as long as it's empty, I'm gonna make sure I bring my AirPods this time. And I'm gonna try to sit there for like maybe an hour or so and get some plotting done. And then when I come back, because I'm probably not gonna wanna talk to you guys while I'm there in public, but when I come back, I'll kind of wrap up how far I've gotten and kind of wrap up this episode 1 of this writing vlog. Okay, you guys, I am back home from the coffee shop. Really good vibes there, actually. I actually kept my headphones out for a majority of my time there. The music was like a little bit loud, but it was good music, so I didn't really mind it. They were playing like Hosier and like calming music, but like pretty much nobody was in there, and it was a pretty big coffee shop, so it was a very nice experience. Food was good, drinks were good. I had like a spark of inspiration, and I got pretty far in plotting my book. I'm starting to get to the point where I'm looking back and seeing like maybe what needs to be added in the beginning when I was a little bit like unsure about where I wanted the book to go. Currently I'm kind of like at a pause at around chapter 20, which is a little bit more than halfway through my book, I would say, because I'm only looking at like maybe 30 chapters, 30 to 40, but there is a big moment that I know I want to happen, but I want it to be around, I don't know, 60 to 75% into the book, and I'm currently stuck where I'm at right now, how to get to that point, because in the timeline of the book, another month or so needs to pass through before we get to that point. So I don't know if that just requires me moving up the timeline or kind of skipping through, maybe leaving some days like unaccounted for. I don't know. I do need to figure out what I want to do, because I want to like jump ahead and write from then on, but I'm like, I have to figure out how we get there, you know? So that is currently where I'm at right now. I think I've also said this before, but I also do really want to come up with a playlist. I think that that would really help the writing process if I just got like fully immersed in what theme and stuff and vibe I wanted for my book. I also personally love when authors put in like a playlist that they have curated to go along with the book, because as the reader I feel very immersed, and I usually will listen to it as I'm reading the book or after. If I miss the book, I kind of listen to it to like stay in the vibe of the book. So I definitely want to come up with a playlist of some kind and then kind of like fine tune it for if this book ever gets published. I would love to put it in the book as well. I think to kind of get me in more of the summer vibes and like inspire me for maybe what I should do from here on out, I really wanted to watch Aquamarine. I'm not joking, I think I watched it like maybe a month ago, but I really want to watch it again. It's like one of my favorite summer movies, and that movie just like screams summer to me, and those are like the vibes that I want for my book. I can actually give you guys like a little bit of a sneak peek. Should I? Yeah, why not? I want there to be like a last splash. I'm calling it that currently because I haven't come up with a name. I don't know if like calling it the last splash is gonna be too like copying of Aquamarine, but I want some sort of party to happen where it is like last splash vibes. It's gonna be different from Aquamarine because I know in there it's just like a little restaurant and like they have a little party. I want it to be more of like a block party, if you will, like a huge party. I don't know. I'm just thinking, I'm calling it Last Splash right now, and I think that that's such a cute name. Like obviously Aquamarine did not like coin the term Last Splash, but I think it's a super cute idea, and that is like gonna be involved in one of the bigger scenes that I have in mind. So we have to figure out how to get there, but I'm gonna watch it for the vibes and probably keep reading just because reading really helps me. I can't remember if I've said this, but I think I'm good at writing dialogue, but not as good at writing the descriptive parts of books. And I think that comes from like in college I took a lot of screenwriting and playwriting classes, but I've never taken like creative writing, and I think that it's showing in just I struggle to come up with the descriptions, which is weird because I have it all in my mind. It's just hard to like put it onto paper what I'm envisioning. So I think that reading definitely helps me like, oh, they're going this far into explanation or whatever. So I might do that, and like I've definitely been watching a lot of YouTube videos that have helped kind of like, here's how to write more descriptive scenes or whatever. So yeah, I think that that is where I'm gonna leave you guys. So for episode 2, whenever that comes, I am hopefully gonna be finished plotting. That is my goal. Finish plotting by the end of episode 2. I'm gonna have a playlist ready, and hopefully I'm going to start actually writing my first draft. I technically have already started writing it, but like for real, be done with plotting and go into writing it. I also want to develop the characters a little bit more, so a lot to do. But yes, I'm gonna leave you guys here, and I will see you guys for whatever I'm calling this series, episode 2. All right, I will see you guys later. Bye.